Hola y bienvenidos a mi canal. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Vera and I'm here to teach you Spanish. This is the second lecture that I'm doing as Introduction to Spanish. The first one was about the pronunciation of letters and words and how to read in Spanish, and this one is about the accentuation of words and how to write in Spanish. If you ask yourself what are you going to learn if you watch the full lecture and why is it important, let me answer you to that question. Well, you are going to learn what is a syllable, how to divide words into syllables, which one is the stress and which one is the unstressed syllable, how to accentuate words in Spanish, the accentuation rules, and this all will help you to write in Spanish correctly and by that be able to pronounce the words correctly in Spanish. And you will also expand your vocabulary by learning many new words through examples. Before starting, don't forget that in the description you have a link to the full lecture, and also if you like the videos that I'm doing, subscribe to my channel and give me a huge like. Let's start by learning what is the syllable. The syllable is the unit of the language made up of one or more articulated sounds that are grouped around the loudest one, which is usually a vowel. So for there to be a syllable, a vowel is enough. And we will see here in these examples. One important thing also is how to divide words into syllables. So the division of words into syllables is an essential requirement to be able to properly apply the rules of graphic accentuation in Spanish. So to understand how to accentuate words in Spanish, you have to understand how to divide words into syllables. Let's see here these examples. The first one is yo, and it has only one syllable, so it has one consonant and one vowel. The second example is ella, so it has two syllables. The first one is made up of just one vowel, which is e, and the second one is made of a digraph, double L, and a vowel a. And the last one is nosotros, and it has three syllables. The first two are made up of one consonant and one vowel, and the last one is TROS. When we learn how to divide the words into syllables, we have to distinguish the stressed from the unstressed one. So the stressed syllable is the syllable that we pronounce with more intensity, and the unstressed one is the syllable or are the syllables that we pronounce with less intensity. So one word can have only one stressed syllable, but it may have more than one unstressed ones. Let's see the examples. We have here the word escuela. So it has three syllables and the second one is the stressed one. The next example is aprender. It has also three syllables and the last one is the stressed one. And the last example is comida and the second syllable is the stressed one. In this example, we will see why is this second one the stressed syllable. So we pronounce this word comida. If I pronounce this word putting more intensity into the first syllable, it will be comida. Okay, so you can see that there is something wrong with that pronunciation. And also, if I pronounce this word putting more intensity into this last syllable, comida, you can see that also there is something wrong with this pronunciation. So pronounce these words by yourself and you will see that the stressed one is the syllable where we put more intensity. So once more we pronounce this word comida. Let's talk about the accentuation now. The accentuation of Spanish words allows to determine the phonetic emphasis on a syllable when pronouncing a word. So what does this mean? In other words, by learning the accentuation rules, you will learn how to pronounce the words correctly by learning which one is the stressed syllable, so where to put more intensity when pronouncing. Orthographically, it is represented by accent mark or tilde in Spanish, which is this one here, and this is the only one that exists in Spanish. and it can be placed only on the vowels, so on the 5 vowels a, e, I, o, and u, and each word can have only one accent mark. Let's see now the rules of accentuation in Spanish. So we know that there are 4 types of words: agudas, llanas, esdrújulas, and sobresdrújulas. And let's see now when to put the accent mark in these words. So we start with agudas, and they have accent mark if they end in a vowel, n or s, preceded by a vowel. Here is the example, jardín. So this word belongs to agudas because the last syllable is the stressed one. Okay, and we see that it ends in n and it's preceded by a vowel. So we put the accent mark in these words, and the accent mark goes on the vowel. The next example is detrás. So the last syllable is the stressed one. It ends in s preceded by a vowel, so this vowel has an accent mark. Next word is actor. This is also aguda because the stressed syllable is the last one, but this one ends in a consonant, which is ere. So this one doesn't have the accent mark. The last example is reloj, and it belongs to agudas because the last syllable is the stressed one. And this word ends in j, which is a consonant, and doesn't have an accent mark. We go now to llanas, and these words have accent mark if they don't end in a vowel, n or s, so it's the opposite of agudas. Let's see the examples now. The first one is fácil. So this one belongs to llanas because the stressed syllable is the penultimate one. So this word ends in a consonant which is not n or s, and it has an accent mark on the vowel. The next example is lápiz. So this one is also llana because the penultimate syllable is the stressed one, and it ends in a consonant which is not n or s, and by that it has an accent mark. The next example is entrada, and it also belongs to llanas because the penultimate syllable is the stressed one, but these words end in a vowel, so it doesn't have the accent mark. And the last example is elefante. So the penultimate syllable is also the stressed one, but it ends in a vowel, so it doesn't have the accent mark. Let's go now to esdrújulas. Esdrújulas always have accent mark. So let's see the examples. Médico. The antepenultimate syllable is the stressed one, and by that is esdrújula, so it has accent mark. Plátano, the antepenultimate syllable is the stressed one, and it has the accent mark. Teléfono, the antepenultimate syllable is the stressed one, so it belongs to esdrújulas, and it has the accent mark. Sobresdrújulas, also like esdrújulas, always have accent mark. So let's see the examples. Repítemelo. So the one syllable before the antepenultimate is the stressed one, and it has the accent mark. And the last example is gramática. So the one syllable before the antepenultimate one is the stressed one, so it has the accent mark. So remember, esdrújulas and sobresdrújulas always have the accent mark. In this video, we will cover the monosyllables, but don't forget that in the full lecture you have all the accentuation rules. In general, they are not accentuated, they don't have the accent mark, as you can see here in these two examples, pan and sol. But they have an accent mark when they have to be distinguished from other homonymous words. Let's see the examples. The word tú when it's an adjective, doesn't have the accent mark, but when it's a pronoun, it has an accent mark. So we distinguish this word by adding the accent mark. So if this word has an accent mark, it's a pronoun, but when it doesn't have the accent mark, it's an adjective. So the same thing happens with the word el. When it's an article, it doesn't have the accent mark, but when it's a pronoun, it has an accent mark. Mi, when it's an adjective, doesn't have the accent mark. When it's a pronoun, it has the accent mark. Si, when it's a conjunction, doesn't have the accent mark, but when it's an adverb of affirmation or a pronoun, it has an accent mark. Te, when it's a pronoun, doesn't have the accent mark. When it's a drink, has an accent mark. De, when it's a preposition, doesn't have the accent mark, but when it's a verb give, it has an accent mark. Se, when it's a pronoun, it doesn't have the accent mark, but when it's a verb to be or a verb to know, it has an accent mark. And mas, when it's a conjunction, doesn't have the accent mark, but when it's an adverb, it has an accent mark. Let's take a quick look at the exercises. So, in the first exercise, you have to classify these words into agudas, llanas, esdrújulas, and sobresdrújulas. So, I will do this first word as an example, and you have to do all of the others, okay? So the first word is esqui. This word has two syllables. The first one is es and the second one is qui. So the stressed syllable is the last one and this word is aguda. In the second exercise, you have to divide these words into syllables and underline the stressed one. Let's see the example. The word camino has three syllables. The first one is ca, the second one mi, and the third one no. So the stressed one is the second one, which is mi. So how I pronounce that? Camino. So the second syllable is the one where I put more intensity. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any doubts about the content, please do not hesitate to contact me. My email is vera.belgrado@gmail.com. I also give private classes, so if you are interested in learning Spanish, just send me an email. And if you enter the link in the description and you watch my full lecture, you will see that you have a discount code. Again, thanks a lot for watching this video and see you in the next one. Adios, bye!